I froze, breath caught somewhere between panic and disbelief, staring at the stranger in the mirror while my hands hovered uselessly behind me. The dress, her dress, clung to my waist, smooth and unforgiving, like it had already decided who I was supposed to be. My shoulders felt bare in a way that made my skin buzz. The neckline dipped just enough to feel scandalous, just enough to make my heart hammer. "This is a mistake," I whispered. The mirror didn't agree. The person staring back at me didn't look like someone playing dress-up. She looked composed, balanced. Like every sharp edge I'd carried my whole life had been quietly rounded down. The fabric fell over my hips with a grace I didn't know I possessed. My posture had changed without my permission, chin lifted, shoulders relaxed, eyes softer. I swallowed hard. Because for the first time, I didn't feel like I was wearing the dress. I felt like the dress had finally found who it was made for. The day had started like any other, which almost made the shock crueler. I was late for work, fumbling with my keys, mind stuck in that dull loop of deadlines and obligations. My life was neat, predictable, carefully gendered. I had built it that way on purpose. Safety lived in routine. Questions lived in the dark corners I refused to visit. Then my phone buzzed. "Can you come over tonight? I need a favor." It was from her. She'd always had that effect on me, pulling me out of my straight lines and into her curved, chaotic world. We'd been friends for years. Too close to be strangers, too undefined to be anything else. She saw things in me I pretended weren't there. Sometimes, when she looked at me a certain way, I felt like she was reading a book I'd never opened. "What kind of favor?" I typed back. Her reply came fast. "Trust me." I should have said no. I didn't. Her apartment smelled like vanilla and something floral I couldn't name. Music hummed softly from somewhere I couldn't see. She greeted me with that familiar grin, half mischief, half knowing. "You're nervous," she said. "I'm always nervous," I replied, trying to sound casual. She laughed, then disappeared into her bedroom and came back holding the dress. My brain stopped working. It was elegant. Black, simple, devastating. The kind of dress that didn't scream for attention but demanded it anyway. "I need you to try it on," she said, like she was asking me to taste a new kind of coffee. I stared at it. "You're joking." "I'm not." My chest tightened. "Why me?" She stepped closer, her voice gentler now. "Because you understand how clothes feel. Because you see things other people miss. And because," she paused, eyes searching mine. "Because I think you'd be beautiful in it." Beautiful. The word hit me like a confession. I laughed, too loudly. "You're out of your mind." "Maybe," she said softly. "But just for a minute. For me." I don't remember agreeing. I only remember standing in her bedroom, door closed, heart racing as I undressed with hands that felt like they belonged to someone else. Every sound, the rustle of fabric, my own breathing, felt amplified. When I stepped into the dress, the world shifted. Wearing it changed everything. I became hyper-aware of my body, not in the way I'd spent years avoiding, but in a curious, electric way. The fabric hugged me, guided me, taught me where to place my weight, how to move. I felt exposed and protected at the same time. When I stepped back into the living room, she turned. Her eyes widened. For a long moment, she didn't say anything. Then she whispered, "Oh." The silence stretched, thick and charged. I wrapped my arms around myself instinctively. "I can take it off," I said quickly. I knew this was stupid. "No," she said, stepping closer. "Don't." Her voice wasn't teasing now. It was reverent. "You look," she swallowed. "You look like the woman this dress has been waiting for." My face burned. "Stop." "I mean it," she said. "Look at you." She guided me to the mirror, standing just behind me. Our reflections merged, her confidence, my uncertainty. She adjusted the straps gently, her fingers light, respectful. "See," she murmured. "Your shoulders. Your waist. The way you're standing. You're not fighting it." I stared at the mirror again. And this time, I didn't look away. Going back to my normal life after that felt impossible. The next day at work, everything felt wrong. My clothes felt stiff, my movements restricted. I caught my reflection in the elevator and felt a wave of disappointment so sharp it startled me. Get it together, I muttered. But the dress had changed something fundamental. People noticed, even when I wasn't wearing it. A coworker commented that I seemed lighter. Someone else said I looked different but couldn't place why. I walked through the world with a quiet hum inside me, like a secret song only I could hear. At home, I couldn't stop thinking about how the fabric had felt against my skin. About the way she'd looked at me. About the version of myself I'd seen in the mirror, and how real she'd felt. I told myself it was just curiosity. A lie I'd been practicing my whole life. I started small. Late at night, with the curtains drawn, I experimented. Softer fabrics. Subtle makeup. Standing differently. Speaking gently, just to hear how it sounded. Every discovery felt like opening a door I hadn't known existed. Some moments were awkward. Some made me laugh at myself. Others made my chest ache with recognition. I practiced walking in front of the mirror, noticing how my hips moved when I didn't force them still. I learned how eyeliner changed my eyes, how lipstick made me feel bold and vulnerable at once. This doesn't mean anything, I told myself. But my reflection was starting to disagree. The first time I went out dressed, it was with her. We chose a quiet cafe, late afternoon, the kind of place where people minded their own business. My hands shook as we walked in, but she squeezed them reassuringly. "You're okay," she whispered. "You're doing great." No one stared. No one laughed. The barista smiled and asked what I wanted. I ordered with a voice that trembled only slightly. When I sat down, heart racing, a laugh bubbled out of me, half hysteria, half joy. "I'm really doing this," I said. She smiled at me like she was proud. "Yes. You are." Each outing after that got easier. Bookstores. Parks. Dinners where I forgot to be afraid. Strangers complimented my style. Someone held a door open for me. Small things, but each one felt like a brick laid in a new foundation. I wasn't pretending anymore. I was becoming. The confrontation I'd been dreading arrived sooner than I expected. A coworker cornered me after hours, confusion written all over his face. "People are saying things," he said carefully. "I just want to know, what's going on with you?" My heart pounded. Every instinct screamed to deflect, to joke, to disappear. But I thought of the dress. Of the mirror. Of how alive I felt. "I'm finding myself," I said quietly. "That's all." He nodded slowly. "Okay." It wasn't acceptance. But it wasn't rejection either. And that was enough. The night everything changed, she invited me over again. The dress waited on the bed, carefully laid out. "This one's yours," she said. I looked at her, throat tight. "Why?" "Because," she said softly, "I think it helped you see something true. And because," she smiled, "I think you wear it better than I ever did." When I put it on this time, there was no panic. Only calm. Only certainty. She stood in front of me, eyes shining. "You're not borrowing anything anymore," she said. "You're claiming it." I looked at myself, really looked, and smiled. I didn't lose everyone. Some people drifted away. Some never understood. But others surprised me with kindness, curiosity, support. I found community. I found language for feelings I'd buried. Most importantly, I found myself. I thought wearing the dress was the revelation. I was wrong. The real transformation didn't happen in front of the mirror. It happened the first time she looked at me, not with curiosity, not with encouragement, but with expectation. Like she knew who I was becoming, and was waiting for me to catch up. The dress lived at my place now. Hanging in my closet, wrapped carefully, like something sacred. Every time I opened the door, my breath caught. It wasn't just fabric anymore, it was a memory. A threshold. Proof that something irreversible had already happened. I told myself I wouldn't wear it often. That lasted 3 days. The night I slipped it on again, I didn't do it nervously. I didn't rush. I shaved slowly, deliberately. I moisturized my skin, feeling every inch of myself like it mattered. I took time with my makeup, choosing softer tones, blending carefully, enjoying the ritual instead of fighting it. When I zipped the dress up this time, my hands didn't shake. I tilted my head, studying myself. God. I looked right. Not pretending. Not playing. Just aligned. My phone buzzed. "Come over," she texted. I miss you. I stared at the screen, heart fluttering. Like this? I typed, attaching a mirror photo before I could overthink it. The reply came almost instantly. Yes. Exactly like that. When I arrived, she opened the door slowly. Her eyes moved over me, unashamed, deliberate. I felt heat bloom in my chest under her gaze, a mixture of vulnerability and pride. You're getting comfortable, she said softly. I think I am, I replied. She stepped aside to let me in, then closed the door behind me with a quiet finality that made my pulse jump. That evening felt different. Intimate in a way I couldn't quite name. We cooked together. I moved around her kitchen naturally now, hips swaying without effort. She watched me when she thought I wasn't looking. Sometimes she smiled to herself, like she was witnessing something inevitable. At one point, she handed me a glass of wine and said casually, You know, people look at you differently now. I raised an eyebrow. Is that supposed to scare me? No, she said, meeting my eyes. It's supposed to prepare you. The air shifted. I sat on the couch, crossing my legs without thinking. She sat beside me, closer than usual. Our shoulders brushed. I didn't pull away. You don't just wear the dress, she continued. You become in it. My throat tightened. Is that a problem? Her lips curved slowly. It's dangerous. I laughed nervously. Dangerous how? She leaned in, voice barely above a whisper. Because once people see you like this, they start expecting it. Her hand rested lightly on my knee. And part of you wants to meet that expectation. She wasn't wrong. The shift accelerated after that. She stopped asking if I'd dress up when we went out. She asked what I'd wear. She'd send me photos, outfits, shoes, makeup ideas, with little comments like, This would look perfect on you. You'd wear this better than me. This suits the woman you're becoming. Each message sent a shiver through me. I started planning ahead. Choosing clothes with intention. Thinking about how I'd be perceived. How I wanted to be perceived. One night, as we were getting ready together, she stood behind me adjusting my necklace. You know, she said thoughtfully, you don't move like you're experimenting anymore. I caught her eyes in the mirror. What do you mean? You move like this is normal, she said. Like this is who you are. The realization hit me hard. She was right. The fear hadn't disappeared, but it had lost its control. The first time she introduced me as her girl, my breath left my body. We were at a small gathering, friends of hers, people I didn't know well. I was wearing the dress again, paired with heels I'd practiced walking in for weeks. Someone asked, So how do you two know each other? She smiled and said casually, confidently, This is my girl. The world went silent for a split second. My heart thundered. I waited for panic. It never came. Instead, warmth spread through me. Pride. A strange, grounding sense of belonging. I squeezed her hand under the table. No one questioned it. No one challenged it. They just accepted it. And so did I.